Why, hello everyone, and welcome to the stream. This is Otaku Showboat. Today is Thursday, January 11th, 2024. I'm just gonna make that, the K1 Max thing a little bit larger. Just slightly larger, and move that over a little bit. Yeah, there we go. The printer is printing. It's low frame rate. For whatever reason, it's choppy. It's choppy video, and I'm not sure why it is choppy lately. It's been a little choppy. In fact, the other day it didn't want to even remotely connect. It was just off for no reason. There's no way to control it in the software that comes with the machine at all. You can't arbitrarily turn it on or off. It was just not connecting, not functioning. I turned the machine off and on again, and it was fine-ish. It's this low-ish frame rate shenaniganery, and it's been like that for now a couple of days. It was like that yesterday, and it still is that way today. Might need another restart of the machine, but yeah. So things are happening. What is printing? First off, what is printing? we can't even see here. Let me do this and group selected items so that I can just be like, yo, hide. Right up there, Game Boy Color on a white stand. I sold 4 of those in black, and that's what's printing right now. 4 black Game Boy Color console stands. That's what's printing right now. That is what is printing. There should not be any issues with the 4 of them printing together. I have printed 5 of them together before, so I don't think that there's going to be any issues with that. Yeah, it was nice. I got up this morning and I saw I had 2 sales from overnight, and then this one came in the morning. So it's like, oh, that's nice having 3. Better than the 0 I woke up to yesterday and had throughout the entire day yesterday, until I got up this morning and saw that one technically came through at like on yesterday time. On yesterday eBay time, which is weird. It's a little bit weird because I'm pretty sure the sale happened technically as of the 11th, but eBay is based off of Pacific time. So it was still the 10th Pacific time. So the order technically happened on the 10th eBay time. So that's how it gets logged, is as the 10th, despite being really the 11th when it went through. But anyway, eBay is based in, I think, California, so it's all going to be based off of their time. So, what has happened? What has been going on besides that little bit? I have designed and printed additional items and listed additional items. You can see right behind me here. I've got that tray that we printed last time. By the way, that is the blue tray that holds 2 Super Nintendo cartridges. I've got that printed and listed, and I've got pictures listed for that. I've got the same thing for Sega Genesis titles listed. I've got a similar thing to that for Game Gear. A 2x3 holds 6 cartridges of Game Gear cartridges displayed like that, sized for Game Gear cartridges. That is also listed. And then I've got this guy, 2 versions. 2 versions of this guy. This is a PlayStation Portable UMD tray, and it fits somewhat loosely. It's easy to put the discs in and out. It's fairly loose. There's a lot of space in between each one, so there's room to see what is inside, as well as to remove the items in the individual slots. Now, this thing, if you can see in there, the edges, you probably can't really tell, but there in that light, the edges on the bottom there are curved. It has curvature in each slot to match this curvature on the bottom of the UMD. So it fits perfectly in here because it has that curvature to match the bottom of the UMD, and it makes it sit completely upright. There's no like slop in there. It isn't wobbly in there. Now, because it has hole on the bottom, you can like do that. You can have it in different orientations, but there's a little bit more wobble that way if it's not correctly upright. But hey, it's a thing. I have a 10 and a 20 slot version of this. This uses quite a bit more plastic than my usual trays, so it is priced accordingly. This is priced accordingly. This thing is a brick, a pretty hefty thing. I can pinch the sides like this, and I'm more likely to actually buckle the sides than I am to, get any motion off of the center rails here. There's no bending of those center rails. They're very, very solid. So yeah, I like that little design, and I have that listed now. 10 and 20 slot versions. It's nice. yesterday was definitely a listing day. I did a lot of listing of items, got some pictures, fully caught up on my listings, added a bunch of things. So yeah, now it's back to designing new things again, pretty much. That yeah, I think that's just about that. I think we're about ready to get into Factorio at this point. So I have Factorio up already, and I've started to. I've built a few stations already, pre-built some initial train stations that we can just go to and build at. Because we have a lot of things that need to get built today. Last time we met, what did I do? Well, last time we met, I managed to finally get into the quantum batteries. About dang time that we got into the quantum batteries, so we did that. There's also an update to the game that technically exists that I have not implemented yet. An update to the Pi suite. Now 2 updates actually for Pi Alien Life. Just got another update today, or yesterday, fixing more things. But yeah, I haven't done that update. I don't really plan to at this point. Particularly because it's going to completely kill moss production everywhere I make moss by adding a gravel byproduct to the moss recipes, which utterly destroys my reasoning to pick that option. Like, there is no reason now to ever take option 2. Like, you just... there is no reason now to take the option to eliminate the muddy sludge from this recipe. Removing an ingredient just to add an output is not a good way of doing things. Like, come on. That killed it. It's not worth ever picking now. So, and that's just the theme of Pi Suite in general. The big themes of the Pi Suite is, you know, over time, things that you would take are changed to become irrelevant, making you pick worse things than before because there's no other option anymore. And it makes the experience overall worse rather than better. And that's just been, you know, the trend that's been happening with the Pi Suite over the past, you know, many updates to the Pi Suite. I do not think that it has gotten better. I think that it has gotten worse with time because of this behavior. Anyway, just general thought going into things. What are we working on? What did we do? We built polishing wheels. We started the process of getting into photonic chips by setting up polishing wheels. So we need a few more factories to get up to these today. Yeah, just a few factories need to be built to get into the photonic chips. I make no guarantees that we'll be able to get into it today. We're going to try, though, and it will start with polishing compound in here. Need to get that sorted so that I know we've got 4 solids in this station. This location, by the way, this specific location used to be a wood factory. It is no longer a wood factory, since I no longer need it. My primary wood factory makes way more than this one did, and I don't need these trains anymore. So, out it goes. In with new. Wait, what are you? oxalic acid, which is not defined. It is made here. I guess we're going there first thing to put it onto the trains. We're going to give it train. There we go. Oh boy, that's all the way down there. Nice. I need to travel quite a ways. Let's head on up here, get this online. There we go. Better. Now I'm gonna give this a full set of 5s. Right, almost there. I think it's missing these 2. Alright, there we go. Full productivity. Now, it needs more of this stuff, so that will also get some 5s. Yeah. Yeah, that's better. That's better. It's limited to 30 because of this guy. Or, you know, however much it actually does for the input rate. 30. Yeah, there's more. Glorious. Up to 270 items per second. Looks like it needs more sugar. We're going to provide additional sugar. Oh, you already have 2350. Nice. Yes, that's lovely. That is lovely. You just needed more throughput. Cool. Oh, yeah. Great. Now you're limited to this again. And this is limited by the speed at which the meat comes in. I need you to be fully productive. You need an entire rest of the thing, I think. There might be... So those are not required. Maybe. They're not 2350, so they are required, it's just I can't have them touching this guy. And I don't need those. 2350, 2250. Missing 5-2. Hello, Ollie Cat. Ollie Cat rubbies. Rubbing my feet. Rubbing those legs. Hello, big boy. That's Ollie. That's Ollie Cat. Yes, Ollie Cat. That's Ollie. Ollie Wally. Ollie Wally Cat. Hello. Aw, hello. Big Ollie Cat. That's Ollie. Yeah, big Ollie. Baby. Big baby. There's a big baby. There's the baby. There's the baby. Yeah. Yeah, so I know, big baby. Big Ollie Cat. So there was a storm that went through the other day. Big storm that went through. Lots of rain and, well, wind. Not really rain so much as wind. Major wind today. This was part of a larger storm that went through the U.S. And brought a lot of snow in other parts of the country, but we in this area just got a whole heck of a lot of wind and some rain, and it knocked our power out for about an hour or so. A little over an hour, I think, somewhere along those lines. Trying to remember. Yeah, I think it was about an hour or so. The power company was pretty quick about getting it back up. Fortunately enough, we didn't have to wait all night. But yeah, that was when was that? When was that? That was Tuesday. That was Tuesday evening. After the stream on Tuesday, the weather was turning. It turned, and so we had darkness of the house with the kitties. They were very happy that everyone was in the same room, all together in the same room at that time. Kitties got lots of attention. They got lots of attention and playtime while the power was out. Oxalic acid. The unfortunate part is we're going to have another storm system go through Saturday, which is the day we are supposed to be taking Dolly in to get her rabies shot. In the morning ish, around 10:30ish. We shall see if that happens. How the weather is going to be at that time. I think that's going to be like right during peak time of that storm that's going through, the next storm. But forecasts change, so we shall see. Alright, got that online. Now let's head back. Get more things built. Let's speed things up just a tad. That would be nice. Head back over here. Let's get this stuff, polishing compound, set up quickly. Hey, it's on its way. Good. Will I be able to get into photonic chips today? We shall see. Maybe I'll need the extra hour today. More likely than not, I think I will probably need the extra hour if I want to get them today. I might need more than that. Who knows? I might need another stream entirely to make that happen. And what does not help is that for a while now, past, week, 2 weeks, past 2 weeks ish, I have had Starbucks coffee. There was a clearance sale on the holiday blend Starbucks coffee. I ran out of that coffee yesterday. Yesterday was the last day with that coffee, so now I'm back to the usual Maxwell House dark roast. It's not as strong as the Starbucks coffee. So even though I've had all of the coffee that I usually drink for the day at this point, I'm gonna be a little bit slower than usual because I'm not as, high on my coffee right now. I'm a little slow. Not as much caffeine as usual. Stuff. Ooh, that was so close. Oh my. That was close. That was a little close for comfort. Yeah. Moving on. And changing topics. So I've looked somewhat at the Dyson Sphere program updates with the Dark Fog stuff. Looked. I haven't played it. I know I've said I wasn't really planning on making content of it, but I was thinking about it, and I was wondering, they implemented it so that once you destroy the dudes, can you permanently destroy the dudes? The enemies? Because if you can actually permanently remove them from the game by destroying all of their stuff, then it's not as bad. Not as bad. And would solve one of the fundamental problems I have with just the Factorio biters in general. There really needs to be a way to get rid of them once you've progressed to a certain point in the game. You need to have the capacity, I think, to eliminate the threat, not just keep it pushed back for all eternity. Like, I'm not interested in playing a tower defense game. I'm interested in playing a factory building game. If I wanted to play a tower defense game, I would play a tower defense game. Meow. Ollie meow. Hello, Mr. Cat. Welcome back. Sigh. Hello, rubbies. Rubbing my legs. He's rubbing. He's rubbing. There we go. That should work. 2350 and 2350. Cool. No fluid needed here. Four. Oh, I need to define. Meow. Hi, Ollie. What's the matter with my boy? Yeah. Hey, big boy, you're wet. Why are you wet? Why are you all wet? Why are you wet? How'd you get wet? A baby. Baby Ollie cat. Tail flicking. Why are you wet? Why are you wet? Let me tell you, when the power went out, Mr. Cat was deeply disappointed that his water fountain wasn't moving water. That the water wasn't moving. I saw him like sitting in front of the fountain, just staring at it, wondering why there wasn't any water coming out. It's like, oh yeah, there's no power. That's what it means. That's what it means when the power goes out. You don't get your water through the fountain. They have other sources of water besides the fountain, or that, and other source of water besides the fountain. So they're not fully without water. We do have standing water. Just Mr. Cat, in particular, prefers water to be, moving. He prefers his water moving, living, as it were. It needs to be live. There we go. Glorious! Beautiful glass. Now, I believe that this is limited by potentially the output here of the stuffs. So we're not going to get the full 270 like ever, but it doesn't matter. What's this? Oh, yeah, pick that up. So what is this? This is clean glass. The cleanest of glass. We are clean. Good. We have been cleaned. Moving on. Next. I think that this is probably going to be easier if this is a four-way. So I think the next item will use the clean glass. That is for certain. We're going to take our clean glass and we're going to make prepared glass. The glass shall be fully prepared. To this end, we need plastic and tin and the clean glass. And we actually need 2 fluids for this. Because we need HCl as well as acetylene. Also, if this looks a little funky, if that looks a little weird, with its low frame rate, but whatever. If that texture, if that looks a little weird, that's on purpose. That's very purposeful. That is a lightning infill that's happening. It is that way specifically to provide a surface with which to print on. It will be covered over by a fully flat surface. A couple of layers, at least. I think it's like 3 layers that I put, at least. 2 or 3. I forget exactly what I have it set to at the moment. But there'll be some full flat layers that'll go on top of the highest layer of the lightning infill. And it's there to act as the support for that fully flat layer, because if without it, it would be trying to print on top of thin air. And that doesn't quite work. And that doesn't quite work. Printing on thin air is not such a good idea most of the time. Especially when you're trying to form a completely flat surface. So, with this infill, lightning infill is specifically designed for this particular purpose. Because there's less of that infill at the very bottom, and more as you get closer to the next flat surface. That's how it operates. It branches in a lightning pattern as it gets closer to the next flat surface above, to help provide the support for the flat surface above. It's not really for strength, structural strength of the print. It's more so for making the top layers successfully print without having as much infill if you don't need that structural support. Which these particular items, it doesn't need that strength on it. I'm sure it's a 5mm base. So it's just making sure that it can print the flat surface on the top of the 5mm base. What are we importing in this guy? HCl. your acetylene. And that print is going to take, like, a little bit past our break time to finish. It's like an hour and 40 some odd minutes. Huh? I just did plastic twice. I thought I did tin. Whoops. Not that tin. Not that tin, that tin. And then clean glass. Need to get our clean glass in. There it is. The cleanest of clean. Didn't I just move down? Rock, why are you in the way? Stupid rock. Number 1. Trophy. All right, got those down. Put these down. There's our prepared glass. The glass has been prepared. Prepared for what? I don't know. Why did I need the clean glass separately? Because it's also used as clean glass sheets in multi-quantum dot cells. And the neutron moderator Mark IV, but that's something else entirely. That is not a piece of infrastructure I am currently planning on making. Full stop. This glass has been prepared. Right. Now for a slight detour to make drill heads. Not really a detour, considering I need them. Oh. Ahem. I guess I'm walking over here myself. Because my locomotive just ran out of its fuel. Thanks. That took a while for my personal train to run out of fuel. That is the first time since upgrading to this locomotive that it has run out of fuel. Thus, why I believe that I only actually really need one fuel stop going forward, particularly once I upgrade to the superior floating locomotives, and I set it to automatically update all of the diesel trains to them. Once they're fully upgraded, I will only need one. I will only ever need one train station to refuel the trains at that point. All right, 3 items in. And that is that. Autosave is autosaving. Oh, hey, I heard the noise this time. I guess it's just my sound settings being too low. I just don't notice the noise. I guess I have something set a little too low. Don't know which one of these the sound effect for the text screen counts as. Is it a GUI effect? Is it an alert? I don't know. It's hard to tell. But yeah, I just heard it. It's there. There we go. Drill heads are moving. Next, gallium arsenide. Oh, glorious. So this is a thing. Right. This is why I made the drill heads, so we could drill antimony ore. I want to make clear, I do have antimony ore on the train network from mining the antimony ore. I do want to replace it with the ground board antimony ore. Hello. Mr. Cat again. Hello. Mwah. Hello. Hello, baby. Oh. It's the boy. He's back again. 3 times, Mr. Cat. Yeah, 3 times coming over here, getting picked up. Now there is the atomizing of Numal ink that we could also use. There is that. But no. But no. Not interested in that specifically. That is not something I want. It looks like it's doing the top layer now on top of the lightning surface. So now it's going to be smooth. You'll see smoothness on those items. All right, so what do we need here? What do we actually need? We need the 2 fluids, 3 fluids, and 2 of those solids to be brought in by trains. So we need the rare earth, oxide, and we need the drill heads. We also need to have acetylene, lube, and syngas. Okay. Start with adding another solid station so I can import a source of wood, solid fuel, because we need to void byproducts here. Okay. Actually, starting from up here, what do I want? I want to do the ash first, so where do I have ash that I can copy? Not that one. Not that one. Oh, come on. Do I not have one that's like fully baconed? Fully baconated? I was hoping for one that's fully baconed, but apparently I don't got it. Anyway, that is going to have to be okay. Then you and your water, why are you fully beaconed? Let's not do that thing. And not do that thing either. The arsenic, I guess, can be like that. Do I really not need arsenic for anything other than this? Yeah, that is correct. That is correct. I'm not going to do that other recipe. God, I wish that that camera was actually behaving correctly. Hey, we got our first of the flat surfaces finished. Alright. Power. Throw in a stack of ash, which I do request and should have a stack of ash somewhere in here. So he claims. Where is it? I must have passed it. Where is it? Ash? There. There we go. This is net positive as it stands. Should be plenty enough for both of these. Now the thing is, with this, we're going to end up with coal dust and iron oxide and soot, and we're going to end up with, you know, those items as byproducts, so we need to get rid of coal dust and iron oxide. Coal dust needs boilers. I'm gonna do a few boilers. Yeah, I've almost got something in every single corner, except I sort of can't really do this top right corner. I can't really put anything up there since, you know, the map and the tech thing are pretty important, I think. I think that those are rather important. So can't really cover those up. But yeah, I can turn off the cat cam though, because there's no cat anymore. Cat hath left yet again. I do need to do the ash outputs. Which will be voided in the end. Yeah, this gets covered. Yeah, I've been thinking about that a bit as well. The tops of this is getting covered. Ah, boy. I just have to pay more attention to it to, like, move this to a better spot, I guess. Here? Shall we have it here? See, I don't like that it will cover the map. But I don't think I have much choice. We're gonna move it over the map. Fine. Alright. Soot is sooting. Thinking. Thinking. So I need the soot in all of these. They're all going to produce ash as a byproduct. I am going to have robots here. So I don't see a reason why I can't just use them at this point. Oh, I don't have a Mark II ground borer. Well, that needs to change. That needs changing. Give me Mark II ground borer. Where am I building the Mark I ground borer? That's a great question. Where is the Mark I? Do I even have? Do I even ground borer? I do. Here. Alright, so Mark II needs to be next door. This is not version 2.0, and I can't just click on the machine and set the recipe. From the map view, from wherever I am. Oh, bots. Bots doing the thing. Taking my stuff. Beautiful. Frame rate tanks when they do this. Ah! Frame rate tanking. Yeah, do the thing. Take the stuff. Yeah, so when I have a lot of this stacked wood in the inventory because I deleted a factory that was producing wood and putting it onto the train network, and so I had an entire bulk rail loader supply station full of these wood bricks, stacked wood. And now my bots have to take that all away from me. Alright, where's the thing? There. Hello? Mark II, please. I have the things. Good. I has stuffs. These can get made. I just need at least one. That would be great. You know, in the alternative, here's what we can do. We can put that there. Probably make it just a bit smaller to match the height of that. And then I can have this here. In my preferred location, I can have this up here. That is my preferred spot for that to live. And now we can see it correctly. That is a much better solution. Or maybe I could put this on top of me, but then it blocks more, you know, tooltip. We need to be able to see tooltips. Hello, welcome. Welcome to the stream. I'm out of my coffee. And my coffee's not as strong today, so I'm likely struggling. And will continue to struggle through the whole of the rest of the stream. Twitch ads starting within half a minute. I see. And the print is printing. Starting up another flat layer. Hey, it's actually got some... Oh, no. I was like, I think it's got some frame rate now, but no. No. It's still choppy. It's still choppy. I really wish that the camera was behaving correctly, but yeah. I don't know why it's so choppy. Well, I have an inkling why it's so choppy. It's just I wish it would not be. Because I have the machine in a closed room, and it's connected wirelessly to the internet. Connected to the router to the wireless router. So, it being closed, the connection is probably not that great. I recently put the lid back on the thing, and that actually seemed to have an effect. They showed the C, the K1C. I have to actually look into the K1C, and I also looked at, I saw that they also have a new laser engraver called the Phoenix 2 indoor, fully enclosed laser engraver / cutter, which also intrigued me. Yeah, the K1C, I saw that they were advertising that the extruder was going to be one unit, which I've already brought up with this one, the fact that it is multiple pieces. This printer that's printing right now, the extrusion head, is actually not one piece. It's two separate pieces with a little tube connecting them. It's just all like smashed together between the gear part of the extruder and the hot end of the extruder. I guess what they're going to be doing is making that into one contiguous unit going forward. I'm not sure if I like that, because that just means that if one part fails, the whole thing has failed, and then you have to replace the whole thing if something goes wrong. I'm not exactly a fan of that, to be honest. I think I'd much rather have these two discrete things be separate from each other in some way, or at least have the ability to replace the parts individually. That would be ideal. I have some repairability concerns about it being a single unit like that. But maybe they have it figured out. I don't know. We'll find out. We shall find out over time. Anyway, this should have built things. Yes, and I should have some on me now. No, that's what they've done with this unit. This right here that you see, that has coverings, and it makes it seem like it's one unit, but you can take it apart into multiple pieces. Now, the other thing is going to be like metal assembly as a single shell metal assembly. From what I can tell, it's going to be a unit, a full single unit, and all of the parts are going to be like one unit. A true direct drive extruder, where the gears directly move the filament into the hot end without anything in between. This is advertised as direct drive, but it's technically not, because it still extrudes with its gears. It moves the filament through a tube into the hot end. It's still two separate things. They're just really, really close to each other. And yet they still call it a direct drive because they've assembled it as a single unit, even though it is discrete parts. What it seems to be is that they're going to be making a true direct drive extruder that doesn't need to include that tube between the parts. So the gears will move the filament directly into the hot end. From what I can tell, that's my assumption. Anyway, that's built now. One module slot in a Mark II building. Can't help but notice that's one module slot in a Mark II building. Gee, I wonder whose fault that is. I wonder who could have done some shenanigans to make it so that these machines only have one module slot. I do wonder whose shenanigans is responsible for that. Who could it possibly be? That is not the building that I was supposed to be holding. Yeah, I needed this guy. This is the guy. Ugh. Dang it. I'm sad. I'm sad that I didn't think about that. Fine. This is fine. What we do is this. That's how it's done. And that's the antimony. Okay. Now, I haven't looked too much into the K1C, but like specifically outside of them, seeing them say that it's supposed to be a single unit extruder. So I don't know what other features it's supposed to have. And like how it's supposed to compare to the rest of the lineup. So yeah, I haven't seen too much of any of like the content from CES going on right now. Besides headlines such as the transparent TVs and 3D TVs. It's like, oh boy. Stuff and things. Alright, ready for arsenic? Ready to make some arsenic? I'm ready to make some arsenic. That's gonna take all the things and rich clay. Oh go, oh joy, oh bliss. Here, have rich clay. The richest. My clay, all my clay. Enjoy the clay. Make the arsenic. This is supposed to be productive. So be productive. Make the arsenic. Oh, it has a byproduct. Blah. Iron oxide. Arsenic. What happened here? I'm gonna take this 5 line. I'm gonna give this a 5 line up here. Doesn't really matter who gets it. Just as long as someone gets it. That's better. That's significantly better. Yes. And we have glorious arsenic. Moving. And this guy needs to sit next door. It is correctly sized. Number 1. Trophy. And there goes the gallium arsenide. Gas! We have made gas. Excellent. Excellent. Next, conductive sheets. Oh, this one's a quickie. This one's nice. Nice and quick. 2 ingredients in and 1 item out. If only they were all like this. Oh boy. Not even going to use bots for it. We don't need bots for this. Alright, Nexlet. And silver. Oh yeah, I saw that there's a liquid-cooled SSD, M2 SSD. That's PCI Express 5. I'm like, really? Really? It's like I think it's its own like AIO cooler on it, all-in-one liquid cooler for an M2 SSD. Really? You I think you might be over-engineering some stuff there, buddy. I think there might be a bit of over-engineering there going on with these M.2s. Yes, I call them M.2s. Conductive sheets. They're conductive. Next, as we make our way towards those photonic chips, next is titanium nitride. Nitride. Titanium nitride, and I need a location for a factory now. I need to start building fresh factory spots. That's a lot of titanium plates that uses. I will need to scale those up at some point here soon, if I haven't already. Also, a not insignificant amount of hot air and nitrogen. Have I put nitrogen on the train network? No. Because of course I haven't. I put the liquid nitrogen onto the train network in a factory that's producing it by spending a little bit of gasoline to loop nitrogen and liquid nitrogen. I could do that here, but I am not gonna bother, especially since it's just the one machine that does need at least some amount of that bacon action. Now, I'm not worried at all about the hot air cost of this. Not at all. It's making a few units of that nitride. I've got 12,000 units of hot air to work with. Yeah, I just don't see any practical consumer purpose behind that. That behind the so stupidly fast SSDs that just get insanely hot that they require these sorts of dumb, large methods of cooling off their chips. There isn't really a consumer need for that. And last time I checked, CES is a consumer expo. It's in the name. Consumer Electronics Expo. It's like legit, it's in the name. And yet very rarely do you actually ever see consumer electronics. Like this isn't a thing. Nor will it be a thing for consumers for an excessively, extremely long time. You know what? I don't even need that. There. You better be limited by that hot air. Okay, next up. Actually, we'll just go straight to the next location for a factory. Next up is colloidal silica. Oh boy, oh joy, oh bliss. I will need that. This is just 4 items in. Do I even sulfur, bro? I don't even sulfur. Well, this is a sulfur factory. Oh boy, do we even sulfur, bro. What is going to be our most ideal way of getting sulfur? Probably that. Because this exists. And that is my alarm to indicate that I am halfway through today's stream. And I still need, in order to get photonic chips, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 factories. Yeah, that might not happen today, but we're working towards it. We're working towards it. Since it is time to take our brief break, I will go ahead and do so now that I've built all of that. When I return, we're going to make this sulfur factory and then move on towards colloidal silica. I will be back shortly. And I have returned. Welcome back. Let's hurry up and get this going on. Get the glorious stuff known as sulfur. Right, I'm gonna put this down here-ish. The 5 line is, of course, on the bottom. That's going there, that's gonna go there. 4s there and there. Number 1. Always, I say that, it reminds me every time of Beavis and Butthead. Skit. Number 1, I order you to go take a number 2. It's fully productive. Yes, good. Good. Need not that, but we need this stuff. Wood. Interesting that they would give Jobless Reincarnation its own game. I don't quite understand how or why. Frankly, I tuned out of that particular series, both the show and the novels, like pretty quickly. I just found the entire sequence of, well, I would have to spoil things, but I found certain aspects of how the author has written the story to be something that I don't really care much for. Just suddenly, without too much warning, just forcing a big change to happen all of a sudden to completely shift gears in the events that are happening. And I don't really like that at all, really. Yes, really, I really don't like it. Where it's apparent that they were just bored of writing the story that they were writing, and they decided to just start writing a different story altogether, and by just throwing an event to happen and make it so that they could just start writing something else because they just got bored of it. And I'm like, nah, I'm not into that at all. Like, it is extremely clear to me that that's exactly what has happened. Every time it happens, it's like, oh, so you just didn't want to tell this story anymore, and you wanted to tell some other story, and then rather than actually start writing another story that does this thing, you just made it happen. You just forced it into happening in this one. I was like, all right, well, fine. Would have been nice if the story that you wanted to end up writing, like what you changed it into, was actually something that was interesting, but oh well. Because it just drags. There's a specific early section in the story, it just drags on and on and on, and it's not interesting to me in the slightest. It might be better after this segment of the story, but I just couldn't be bothered anymore. Alright, we got the sulfur. Next is the colloidal silica. I need a spot to build the colloidal silica. That's great. I've got room for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 factories here. As said, bonk and bonk. 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 Just grab that, please. I'm sorry, just grab that at this point and use this as a blueprint and hold on to it. Boogers. Yeah, that's better. That's better. Also, don't train stop name. Okay, good. The last thing I need is to do this and then have it just change the name of the fuel stop on me. So that shouldn't change any names. So there's a few more locations for factories. Let's go up and start building at said locations. Maybe start from the one that's, you know, furthest away. That would be probably a bit more ideal. Two, three, four solid inputs. Brain? 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 You need brain. A little bit more. brain just stopped functioning. I'm making colloidal. I do need silica powder, though. Plastic. Lead. I'm gonna blame caffeine differential for that. Not enough. Not enough caffeine in my coffee compared to what I have been having for several days. But I do need to reduce the caffeine. Like, I can't have the, like, good stuff all the time. Because, yeah, when I'm used to having the 3 cups of this every day, regardless of strength, if I have it as the Starbucks coffee, I start having sleeping problems because it was too strong. When I started the package of the Starbucks Holiday Blend, which I did get on clearance for a pretty good price, when I started drinking that, there were a couple of nights where I was tossing and turning all night long. And I just really had a hard time falling asleep. There's the colloidal silica. And I had it for long enough now that my body is now used to that, so now I have to get used to not having it. Okay, formamide. Right, I didn't have it, so I need to get it on the train network, and I'm going to need a temporary stop here for methanol. Just to get a little bit of input on methanol. Great. Wonderful positioning. Both of the ones on the ends are not in good spots. So this is best probably here. Then everything else just moves up a tile. Okay. How this works is a little dumb, but that is all I need. With a top-up valve here. Now, this should not, the productivity of this should not impact the methanol output. I believe I've done this before with the productivity, and it hasn't affected the methanol output. We shall find out. We shall discover this together. Okay, you are outputting a lot. Okay. Allet, you're producing allet of stuff. It'll be 3,000 units of stuff. Oh. Right. Yikers. There you go. 3,000 units per second of stuffs. Yeah, the printer has finished printing, so I can now hide that. Okay, purine analogs. Right, I was gonna have to get serine on the train network for that, and I haven't broken that down yet. Wonderful! So I have serine at alien bacteria. I'm going to go to alien bacteria and put the serine onto the train network from alien bacteria. I don't really feel like taking the time to set up an independent factory for the serine. Relatively close. Not too bad. And it is already fully productive, so I can get access to this on a fresh supply station. Okay. You. There we go. Serene. Yeah, we're not going to have a freeze this weekend, but we are going to have rain and wind. That was our forecast for this area. It might be the same system if in the United States. Yeah, wind Saturday. Friday night, thunderstorms into Saturday with lots of wind Saturday. Let's see, what is the most recent update? 60% chance of wind Friday night. Winds gusting to 40 miles an hour. Great. Great, 40. That's a pretty good number. Saturday. They're not actually saying that we're gonna get much rain anymore. Sustained winds, 22 miles per hour. Great. Less than Friday night, though. Winds occasionally gusting over 40. Great. Wind. So we're getting wind. It's gonna be blowing. Gonna be blowing around here. The storm on this past Tuesday was, yeah, that was also lots of wind. Tons of wind. It was really blowing. Alright, bring in 3 items. Knocked out the power, is blowing so hard. Yep. Yes, we lost power for a brief, like, hour-ish. Alright, but it would help if I defined formamide on the supply stations. But the electric company was on alert. They were active, fully ready, prepared, and they got folks out very quickly. I think that I'm not exactly certain where it happened because we have a transformer right in front of our house. So we always know when it's us, when it's our transformer, like about when the power's supposed to come back on, because it's usually they have to flip the switch at the transformer, but apparently this time around, that wasn't it. It wasn't our transformer flipping that knocked the power out. When it went out, I heard a big thoom. outside, and it apparently wasn't our transformer because the power came back on and they didn't do anything out here. We didn't have the crews right out front of our house. That was one of those odd times, actually, where we didn't actually have anyone in front of our house doing work on the transformer. Okay, just add fish. Just add fish. We need more fish. We need the fish. Fishy fish. Probably gonna limit that to one line. I think that throughput is going to be pretty low. Yep, so as I said, we lost power. Cats were happy that everyone was in the same room while the power was out, but Mr. Cat was not so happy that the water fountain wasn't working. He was deeply disappointed that the water wasn't moving. The moment that the power went on and the water started moving again, he was like right there. He was in my lap, and the fountain's like next to the couch, so he like immediately gets up, goes to the arm of the couch, and starts staring at the water fountain moving again. Oh boy, Arcod jelly. That's a few. Do I not have Mark II apiaries? Yeah, we're going to, we're gonna need to upgrade you to Mark II, I think. Oh god. Oh boy, maybe not. Why would you only add 3 modules going from Mark 1 to Mark 2? What? That doesn't seem like a good idea. Why is it not double? Or at least 50%? Why is it 25%? Rounded up. Why would you do that? That's not good at all. That is like actively bad, I believe. Oh good, I at least have built them. Have I requested them? Apparently not. I'll also need Arcod modules. A few of them. If this is the plan. If this is genuinely the plan. Now, I believe I have anthracene oil on the network. Duh, it's literally right here. Like, among the first things that I did in the base was put anthracene oil on the network. Ah, boy. Yeah. Maybe Arcad Mark II modules. Well, let me tell you why that's not gonna happen. Arcad. Mark II Arcad. Okay, well. In order to get into Mark II Arcads, just to get into them in the first place. Okay, so we have a 1/2 of 1% chance to get one of them by spending mutant enzymes and iron-enriched moondrop flowers, which means going out of our way to build iron-enriched moondrop flowers just to have a 1/2 of 1% to get one Mark II Arcad. In order to actually then get more through a slightly more efficient process, in the more efficient process of using Mark II to get Mark II, we will need to spend Dilmo cubs, which means having Dilmo cubs to spend on that. You have to make the maggots from the eggs, and the eggs need nests, and that needs, well, at least that's only hot air, but this is bedding, filled milk barrels, of which we have infinite of, Ulrich food, as well as Mark II nests. The Mark II nests need an adult. Well, hey, as well as 5 filled combs and 2 more Ulrich. Okay, well that'll make 1 nest, and 1 nest will make 20 eggs, and then the 5 eggs makes 4 maggots. Oh, hey, you do need 9 maggots. It would appear as if this does only need to happen once. But this whole process is gonna take like an hour or more, or 2 hours, like the whole of the rest of the stream, to go out of my way to do this. Or I could just not and do this build as it is right now. It's like, or we could just not. I'm gonna go with not. Just not. Arcads are on the easier end of creatures to upgrade. I'm going to make it completely clear, of the creatures and of the creature upgrade processes, Arcads are on the easier end. It still requires going out of our way to make them, without doing any meaningful progression otherwise, just to do one thing to get one creature upgraded that works on a very tiny subset of processes needed in an entire base. In my opinion, the time that you spend going out of your way to get these upgrades is not worth that time saved in like infrastructure cost savings in the process that you need it for in the base. It's not worth the time investment. And it is like that for most every creature. It's just not worth the time investment for those creatures to upgrade the modules. Okay. This factory, we need a solid input. And we need the anthracene. Okay. What does this factory look like? We need this guy to be productive. That's a part 1. That will exist all the way up top. Now, have I gone out of my way to do this in the past? Yes. I did go out of my way in my previous playthrough of the game to make Mark IV Archots. I went all the way up to Mark IV on the Archots. It was utter pain. And full disclosure, I cheated. Out of the, like, 0.1% chance to get Mark IVs and the 0.2% chance to get Mark IIIs, the initial creatures. I went into the files and I made that a fucking 100% chance to give me the initial creatures and then set up the rest of the process to get infinite of them after that. Because it's not worth the time to bother with it, ever. And the bulk of the issue is the initial creation of those Mark II plus creatures. A lot of the problem lies in there. Like, just the entire concept of having fractional percentage chances of anything happening in the game. Not fun. Just not actually fun at all. Like, no, actually, having to wait for hours to have something happen is not fun in the slightest. Like, that is not fun or engaging. Oh, but you can do other things while it's happening. That's not the point. And more often than not, the thing that you're doing is part of a thing that's been blocking you for a while. And yet, pretty much have to wait on it anyway. And this is why I've been saying, hey, this entire system needs to be rethought. From the beginning. Just, it needs to be rethought. And here's how we are going to handle things like the BTX here. The issue is that I need an initial amount of BTX, isn't it? So how am I going to create BTX? We need low distillates or condensates, which it's the same thing, really. So give me a heavy oil refinery. Or better yet, give me my... I'm still gonna need the heavy oil refinery. Where in the list? There you are. BTX. Where is a good spot I can copy? Nowhere. Great. Oh, fine. I need you. I need you. I will need an input initially of crude oil and steam. All of it will be deleted as soon as I have existent amounts of stuff. Oh, yeah, tin chromium. Need that too. Need some SNCR. Bring some of that to me. Really? Like, please, could you not just also search the item name, which is SNCR-alloy? Could you please also search that? That would be fantastic of you. With that in, we just need that tin chromium, an initial batch, in order to get some BTX going. Now, this could be the permanent solution, but I'm not going to do that. I am going to cheese the ever-living shit out of this, which involves just a tiny little bit of tin chromium. Oh. We are ready for more tech. Hey, mega drill heads are going to be available soon. And that will actually unlock the next processing stage 3. 3! Oh, look, and excavation 2 is happening soon. Oh, goodness. What does that really give me access to? Alternative sources for some things, but, yeah, this will probably be the main nickel ore source in particular going forward, because for whatever reason, there isn't a soot recipe on nickel. Now, I can understand why. I can understand why. It's because there's an alternative source to nickel. There are alternative recipes already existent. They are supremely inefficient, and I believe that in PyBlock, those recipes could at least use some adjustments to be better balanced as a primary source of nickel ore. If we're going to have to use them, they need to be balanced to use them consistently for the primary permanent source of nickel. That source is converting like tar to nickel, and it's a pair of recipes. There's a BTX, or there's a bitumen propene and a tar hydrogen for nickel ore, as well as the enriched biomass, and like that's not available early in the game. So really, or the alternative is you can get nickel out of soot, but as you also get everything else. But you also get everything else, and it's a small percent chance. It's like 10% from 2 soot. It's very, very inefficient. When all of these other sources have a dedicated 10 to 8 here recipe for soot into ore, nickel doesn't have that. Nickel doesn't have its own soot to ore recipe. And I believe it's because these two exist as part of the normal Pi suite. And that's not good ratios here. Especially when you just really can't get bitumen. Especially when it just doesn't happen. It doesn't exist. Okay. Oh, all right. Input that with gas canisters. Gas canisters. Okay, and then we can get rid of that completely. We no longer need that. Then we take our productivity there. And we cycle. And we cycle. Perpetually. Infinitely. And I need a solid fuel to get rid of extra empty canisters out of this. I no longer need this or any of this. Then it's overflow valve into that guy. Who will be barreling. And the barreling is not a productive process with regular empty barrels to make the BTX barrels. Barrels? Where are my barrels? Do I not have any barrels? I don't have any barrels. Oh god. Dang it! Regular empty barrels. I should have 1,000 of them at least. And I have 0. Okay, let's restock. This one factory is taking so much time. I had thought I would actually get into the photonic chips today, but it's not going to happen. Yeah, it's not going to happen. I might move these up. Do I need those photonic crystals? When do I need those photonic crystals? The end? And only the end? Yeah, I'm going to move that up to, like, be the last thing before photonic chips. Because after this, it's easy enough to get the HTS and the SMU. I don't have zinc nano compound on the network, do I? No. No, I have the precursor. I have the, well, I have zinc acetate, yes. Nano compound. Do you get used in anything else? You are used in quantum wells. Okay, I need to get that on its own factory. believe that the Relesia extract is only used for this. Yes, only used for this. Of which I very likely do not need any of that to be productive. So there's the factory. It needs to be done up above as a separate factory right before Zinc Nano Complex. So we're at Arcod Jelly here. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 factories to go for these chips. I am in my mall so that I could get a delivery of the barrels before we head back where we were, which was where? Here. We have a little bit over 30 minutes left in the stream today to get as close as we can to the photonic chips. Yeah. Do I think I could get the photonic chips if I had an extra hour today? Good question I've just asked myself. Assuming that there's nothing else missing, I think that answer is yes. I need to get titanium dioxide on the train network, but I'm pretty sure that that's something I've already made and can just put onto the train network. These photonic crystals, though, are going to take a while to make. This will take some time to build, as will this. That is not an insignificant amount of inputs. Gonna throw that concept out there. That is not an insignificant amount of inputs. Right, sugar is from honey, so I will import the honey. Yeah, it's not going to happen, even with the extra hour. It's just not happening today, sadly. So don't be bothered to force the extra hour to happen, because we're not going to get the photonic chips today either way. Any hoozles. Gib. Barrel. Gib. Warehouse. Or depot. Storehouse? Gib storehouse with barrel. Put in barrel. All of the barrel. And this will make BTX barrels. I need to output primary right and input a thingy-madoohickeys. Yeah, that'll go down. This will go out. That can be shared. 85. Oh yes, I need arcods as well. Great. Okay. More travel time to get arcod. We shall arcod. How many are in here? 14,000. I think I have enough arcods to build this factory. How many do I need in total? Am I allowed to hit this button? Yes. 1,105. Okay. 1,105 of them are required. A thought has just occurred to me. What if more advanced creature recipes had a chance to output an upgraded creature by doing the more advanced creature recipe? That should be 2,000. It would break a lot of existing builds in current factories to make that change. But I think that it would address two birds with one stone. I think it would solve a couple of issues simultaneously. It would push you to use the more advanced creature recipes because it has a chance of outputting an upgraded creature. And it makes the upgraded creatures easier to achieve or to attain. Now, I think that there should still be methods of, then breeding said creatures to get more dedicated production of said creatures. But it may be a better way of going about it than the current way, for sure. Yes, you'll have this chance of a byproduct, always a byproduct to get rid of, but that is a small price to pay to not have to go out of the way to make the initial creature to begin with. You know? That's an idea. There's an idea. One of many potential ideas. But that thought has just occurred to me as something that exists as something I think would be overall a better way of doing upgraded creature modules. That would incentivize using more advanced recipes for Alien Life. More advanced Alien Life recipes. All right. Well then, we need to put 85 buildings down. Oh, I see Mr. Cat's behind me. He's off to the side on my piano, on the green screen. He's resting, he's comfy. Alright, how am I going to divide 85? Erg. 85 over 5 is 17. And that's the only ways that I'm going to be able to divide 85, isn't it? There's 17. At least that should be 17. 5 rows of 17. Here we go. Pretty sure Dolly is under my bed, in her usual position for this time of day. Ooh, that is something I just noticed. Ah. This outputs Arcod jelly barrels. I'm going to need to export Arcod jelly. So I need to do that. He's moving. I hear the keys moving. How's Ollie doing back there? Yeah, so 5 of this. Just let the belt take me. Just let the belt take me for a ride. Hopefully the nanobots can keep up. Yay, wee! think that... Nope, that didn't cover everything. I did miss a segment of belt here. Okay, moving on. So I need that and that. Oops. So what shall we talk about? So I continue playing Hawkeye Star Rail. Continues to be a game that interests me. It just had version 1.6 past few weeks here. Released some new endgame content in the form of a challenge called Pure Fiction. This is the first week of that. And yeah, I've enjoyed it. They have made a system that incentivizes having characters of the erudition path, because previously the end game content, the Memory of Chaos, Forgotten Hall, it wasn't so good with AoE characters, AoE focus characters, the like full-on 5 enemy hit AoE characters, which is the path of erudition. It vastly favored destruction characters, which tend to damage 3 enemies at a time at max, because those challenges didn't really tend to have 5 enemies. And, you know, destruction characters, they hit pretty hard. They're like a mix between erudition, big AoEs, and hunt, which is very large damage to single target enemies. They sort of exist in between these two. They tend to be the overall strongest, best characters in the game, but still, it was not. There were some complaints from folks to the developers that, oh hey, actually, it would be nice if the erudition characters like had a bit of a better use, because the existent content wasn't that great for them overall. And so we got this Pure Fiction endgame content, which, you know, it makes them useful, really, really useful now. I did not leave myself enough space to put more of the substations in the middle of this, so I actually have to use these. I have to use actual thingies. Actual thingies? My god. Actual thingies? Yes, actual thingies. Actual power poles need to exist in here. We need the actual real power poles. And I need the actual real things to happen here. Yes, that's what happened. I need to void the excess barrels. That is not what I wanted to grab from my blueprint book. This one was the one I wanted to grab from my blueprint book. Oh, rather than tin chromium alloy, we're going to be bringing in boogers. Yes, we'll bring in boogers. We'll bring in stacked wood. What? Okay. Glorious wood! Bring me wood. Bring me my wood. Also, switch this guy to fluid. Yeah, I've been enjoying the pure fiction, and I think yesterday I got my max score. I got my or the highest rewards, I should say. I didn't max score the last challenge or even the second last challenge on it. But I got enough points to get all of the rewards for it for the 2 weeks. It makes me happy because I can't do that with the Memory of Chaos content, but if I can do that with pure fiction, then yes, glorious, beautiful things. That is wonderful. How much is 5 supposed to produce per second of the jelly? I don't even know. Because I have built mostly AoE characters. And, you know, it works with destruction too, so if you build destruction characters, then they work in both the Memory of Chaos and pure fiction, but pure fiction does favor more the erudition characters. And I've built characters that are both AoE and follow-up attacks, so you get a whole bunch of extra attacks for free. It's glorious. I love it. I love it. It's wonderful, and I just barely got the score I needed for the full rewards. I was very, very happy. S-Arcod Jelly. The Arcod Jelly. The jelliest. Oh yes, it would help if I ran the belts on the other 4 lines for the jelly, so I can, you know, actually get jelly moving. At the full 5 per second instead of just 1, and instead of just running out because I'm out of barrels in the system, since everything will be clogged up on the other 4 lines. Yeah, I'm going to need more barrels in the system, more likely than not. If I see any red lights whatsoever, it means I don't have enough barrels. Yeah. Yeah, there's that, and there's the whole, in a few days here, we're going to be getting a free character in the mail to anyone who's, like, started an account for Honkai Star Rail. Essentially, you're gonna get a free 5-star character in the mail. It'll be glorious. You have to have the mail unlocked, but otherwise it'll be there. It'll be one of the limited characters. They're giving away Dr. Ratio, a imaginary element hunt character. Which, as I said, hunt isn't necessarily favored in endgame content yet. Maybe one day they'll add another endgame challenge, cycling endgame challenge that will favor hunt characters. Maybe one day they'll do this, but for now, whatever. They're fine for boss fights, and you have to do. There's like up to 3 times rewards per week doing weekly boss fights, so there's a role to play for having hunt characters anyway. But he's a hunt character with follow-up attacks, which is nice, because I have a character that buffs follow-up attacks, who's also hunt, though. I was like, ooh yeah, nice team options now for follow-up attack characters. It's like, nice. It's nice. Okay, am I done now with jelly? I think I'm done now with jelly. At least for the moment, we will have our jelly. And I just got the current banner character, Ruan Mei. So I'll have 2 characters to build, and I'm like, oh god, I don't have the resources to do this immediately, and it will take a month to build these characters. Or more. Did I name it Arcod Jelly, or did I name it Jelly? Named it Arcod Jelly. Okay, save that, and we are done with that. HTS coils are the next items on the agenda. Yeah, I wished on the banner, I did my polls on the banner for Ruan Mei, particularly because she's a good Harmony character. She is a universally good character to have on the account. So I started doing the polls, but unfortunately I lost the 50-50 initially to my now 3rd copy of Welt. So he's getting buffed up from that after picking him on my 300 freebie choice from the standard banner. Because of course I got him from that 300 choice on the standard banner, and then who are my next 2 standard characters? Oh yes, Welt, the same character that you picked for the 300, of course, is going to be the next one that gets randomly pulled. So I lost the 50-50 at Soft Pity, and then of course I went beyond Soft Pity to get through on May. So this character cost me a lot of wishes, a lot of pulls, which I'm a little bit annoyed by. Just a bit annoyed by. It could be, at any point between 1 and 90, but the chance of 90 pulls is 0, actually. Yeah, it's like essentially 0 to go all the way to 90. You will get it before it hits 90 in, chances realming in the, universal time period frames. You are highly unlikely to ever hit exactly 90, just the way that the mechanics work in that developer's games in general. It's highly unlikely to ever hit 90. And no one in existence, I believe, has ever done so. So yeah, but still, if it goes beyond a certain point, it's like it's really weird and odd because it's supposed to happen in a certain range. Ah, boy. And when it doesn't happen in that certain range, I'm just annoyed greatly. When it happens more than one time in a row, it's really annoying. Is that niobium, or is that niobium titanium alloy? Ah, great. So the general time period where you expect to get a 5-star character is around the 74, 5, 6 range of pulls. That or before. That particular point is what's known as soft pity, because it's not guaranteed to happen, but it is much higher odds to happen in that range before around wish 80, but you can still go further and further down towards 90. It's just much lower chances to happen by then. And this character happened on like pull 78, which is not good in the slightest. It is not ideal, having already gotten one at like 76, 77 previously, right before it. Like, I wish I could have used those 5 pulls for something else. Or, you know, get it early. There's like a third of a chance to get it before soft pity, so it's like, goodness. What am I doing? Coils. Coils, wires. Superconducting wires. That being said, I would have been even more annoyed had I spent money to do wishes. I don't really do that. They're a bit expensive if you want to spend money on it. Yeah, so I don't tend to do that. I don't tend to do that. You have the ability to just buy pulls, but yeah, it's not ideal. Not at all ideal way to go about things. Not at the price they want for it anyway. Yeah, if you want like all of the copies of character you need to make it as strong as possible, yeah, like if you want to spend the money to do that, yeah, it would be over $1,000 to guarantee that it happens. Which is 7 copies of a character. As I hold 6 fingers, 7 copies total. So, having set up these HTS coils, I seem to have rambled on enough to have reached the end of the stream. I believe we have reached the end of the stream today. I need to define that, and that is the end of HTS coils. What do I even call today's stream? Because I can't really keep it as Photonic Chips as the title, now can I? It's working towards Photonic Chips, but the stuff we got was completely and utterly random. Like, there was no theme besides just working on or working towards Photonic Chips. We will get them next time. Ideally, we will get them next time because we're starting with SMU and then working our way to the chips. And it's none of these initial 4 factories are particularly bad. None of these initial 5 factories are particularly bad, but these last 2 are going to take a little bit more time. Anyway, moving jelly. Nah, I'm probably just gonna be like just working on photonic chips or photonic chip work rather than just be photonic chips. Anyway, we've reached the end. I'm done with my rambling now. I would like to thank you all for watching. This has been a Talk of Shit, but if you have enjoyed today's stream, do all the social stuff down below the video, and I will be back with more on Sunday. I hope to see you all then.